Are they coming down?
What are the cameras?
Bar, kitchen, and corridor.
Here in my garage.
Get that door, please.
One is droning into kitchen. Alright, Glass is in bar.
Just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Thermite is in bar. He's gonna blow the hatch.
They're gonna
And Glass is up there with him.
But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
No one has ever done that! No one has ever done that in the history of
So you want to dominate with Valkyrie. If so, regardless of whether you play on console or PC, you've clicked on the right video. Unfortunately, Valkyrie doesn't have a flashy, over-the-top operator video like the original operators do, so I had to kinda improvise and make my own. But she is, in my opinion, easily one of the most versatile and important operators in the game. For example, this kill.
Nice.
Yes.
That's Blackbeard. What the hell?
That was absolutely a Valkyrie kill, and I wasn't even playing as Valkyrie. And to top it off, that was in a practice game against a full team of pro players. And no, we didn't beat them, but it still shows the power of Valkyrie. There are, in my opinion, 3 reasons that she's so powerful. The first is, of course, her cameras, the second is the MPX, and the third is her C4. And the key to being an absolute nightmare to your enemies lies in the mix of those 3 things, so long as you use them in conjunction with each other and in a way that helps your team. And I am not trying to undersell the usefulness of the SPAS-12 shotgun. It's really powerful. But for the playstyle that I'm proposing and the one that I think Valkyrie is most powerful with, I think the MPX is the better choice just because of its rate of fire and the fact that you can put a suppressor on it. And I believe that suppressors in Rainbow Six Siege are hugely underrated, especially when it comes to defensive operators who are amazing at roaming like Valkyrie. In fact, I'm gonna make a recommendation right now. I even made this recommendation to Mache and he wound up adopting it into his playstyle. And remember, that doesn't mean you're gonna see me or him always doing this, because remember, everything is adaptive depending on what game mode you're playing and what mood you're in, but nonetheless it works and it changed the way I play the game. I want you to think of every defensive operator that you use most commonly for roaming, and by roaming I mean playing far away from the objective and most importantly flanking. Smoke, Pulse, Valkyrie, Jaeger, whoever it may be, and now go into their loadout, go to the primary weapon that isn't a shotgun, and put a suppressor on it. You don't need to change anything else, use whatever sights you like, just add a suppressor. That's step 1. Step 2 is play with that gun when it's appropriate, and go for headshots. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be frustrating at first, but once you get used to playing like this, your all-around aim and kill rate will get so much better. And if you don't already know, the reason I'm recommending using a suppressor with roamers only is because it hides the arrows when you shoot someone that tell them which direction they're being shot from. So it does a lot more than just make your weapon quieter. And this finally brings us back to Valkyrie, or more specifically, a roaming Valkyrie. Just imagine you're an attacker trying to move in on an objective, but she's got cameras placed around so she knows which way you're coming from. You start moving in towards the objective, but she's already 3 steps ahead of you. In addition to that, she's got a suppressor on her gun, so as soon as she pops out behind you and takes that flank, you can't even tell which way she's shooting from. At this point, all she's got to do is land headshots and anyone in her line of sight is dead. And not only are they dead, but the surviving attackers are in a predicament too, because they're now distracted on this roamer and trying to find the cameras, all the while worrying about where she might pop out from next. But let's just assume these attackers are good players and they manage to kill this Valkyrie after that flank. Well, she's still helping her team from beyond the grave, assuming she placed those cameras in good spots. The only other operators that can help get kills from beyond the grave are Frost, Capcan, and maybe Tachanka, but none of them are as important as Valkyrie. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into the specifics on how to use the cameras most effectively. This strategy works for every map and every game mode, but for this example we're going to be using Canal and Maps Office. And I'll be illustrating my point with some amazing skills in Microsoft Paint. So as you may know, Valkyrie has 4 cameras at her disposal. What I recommend doing is using 3 of them to cover the 3 main choke points that you think the attackers will be coming from. So during the preparation phase, pretend that you're an attacker and think of how you would attack this objective, and throw cameras in hidden spots on those 3 main areas that you want your team to have line of sight on. So to get us started, because of the importance of windows on Canal, we're going to throw an outside cam. And that's going to give our whole team a line of sight onto all of these windows so we can see if anybody's rappelling there. Exactly where you throw these cameras down is up to you, as long as it has a good line of sight. Our next camera camera is going to go to bridge because that's always an important spot to have a visual of. And that one's going to cover these entryways, and it's also going to help our roamers out a bit. Camera number 3 for this example will go somewhere around that area so that our teammates inside the objective can see if any attackers are coming from this hallway or from up or down the stairs. Now that there's only one more angle that needs to be accounted for, this is where your playstyle comes into play. And by that I mean whether or not you want to roam, throw down that 4th camera, or both. Because you can throw that last camera down here to get those angles covered, which would allow you to just more freely roam wherever you want, using those other 3 cameras you threw to inform you of where the best flank position is. Or you can just play from those windows across the way and watch it yourself. And by doing that, you'd still have that 4th camera at your disposal to use as you please. And you'll also be in a prime position to flank those enemies as they advance towards the objective. So at this point, you're running around with a silenced MPX and an extra camera. What do you do with the extra camera? Well, this is the fun part. This is where you can get creative. Place your nitrocell underneath a destructible floor with a cam above so you can see when they step on it, and boom. You've got yourself a super satisfying kill and an explosive start to the round. Some of the most fun I've had in Rainbow Six was just experimenting with different spots for doing this. Or thanks to YouTube, you can always just watch your favorite players and steal their spots. One of my favorites is the one on Oregon that I showed at the beginning of the video, and every time we play Laundry Room on that map, I try to take Valkyrie, just to go for that kill. I'm literally always playing around with new spots and sharing them with the people I play with, and they're finding new spots and sharing them with me and vice versa. So do some experimenting. Use Valkyrie's cameras in the way that's the most fun to you and the most effective. That's what makes her such a good operator, is how flexible and efficient she is. Not just at getting those cheeky C4 kills, but in providing her team with the intel they need to have the upper hand, even though the attacking operators have the more powerful weaponry. But if you're a fan of my channel and my content, then you know that the bigger gun is not what wins the battle. No. In the end, the one who wins is the one who has knowledge on their side. And so now that we've covered how to best use her weaponry, how to use her cameras, and how to use flanking and positioning against your enemies, I need to cover pretty briefly what not to do with Valkyrie. And this is really important, and a mistake I see a lot of people make. And that is, quite simply, do not spot with Valkyrie's cameras. Please. This happens way too often, where I place down a great cam, the enemies walk past it without noticing, and my teammate spots, and then they look for the camera, they find it, and they shoot it out. When you spot on a camera or a drone, essentially all you're doing is letting your enemies know that you see them. I don't care how tempting those 50 points are, just know that if you spot, you're screwing over your teammates, most likely. And you're especially screwing over the Valkyrie, who threw down that cam and is now going to lose it. Essentially, the only time I think it's acceptable to spot on a cam is in the last few seconds of a round, or in a situation where a teammate needs those spots to get some wallbang kills. But other than that, guys, for the most part, please stop spotting on the Valkyrie cams. Actually, if you watch Mache's stream when him and I play together, whenever we get the notification you've been spotted, you'll notice we pretty much always laugh and say, well, how nice of them for letting us know that they're watching. Just take my word for it, guys, those 50 points are not worth losing your cams over. So guys, if you want to dominate with Valkyrie, use roaming effectively, because she's a fast and quiet operator. Use a suppressor, so people can't tell where you're shooting them from. Never forget that headshots are king in Rainbow Six Siege. Make sure to employ creative and discreet use of her cameras, preferably in combination with some cheeky nitro cells. Use the intel you get from her cams to flank your enemies, or jump outside and kill them while they're repelling. Come up with your own ideas or watch other people to find new and great camera spots, like this one I'm about to show you that I actually showed you how to throw earlier in the video, on the rooftop which overlooks the skylight on Bank. In fact, there are a number of great cameras up on that rooftop, but this isn't a camera spots video because that would make it way too long and it would take way too long to edit. But if you do want that, let me know. Request it in the comments and I can do that. Maybe turn it into a series. This video did take me a long time to edit up, but I do have other stuff going on as well, so don't worry, more videos are coming, and I will work out an upload schedule. If anyone who follows me on Twitter, I'll post it there, along with the update once everything gets sorted out. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, because I've been wanting to make it for quite a while now, because when you think knowledge, you think Valkyrie, and a well-placed cam can mean the difference between winning or losing, as you'll see here in this final clip. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and always remember, the only thing more important than materialistic things is knowledge. Blackbeard's still there. He's still there. He's watching.
Quick. He's planting, dude. Quick.
Dude,
Right
to your
there.
right.
Oh my
To your
God.
right.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God.
You got him. You got him.
Wait, listen.
He's gonna come from the hallway.
The diffuser has been destroyed.
Good job. Good job.
Mission successful.
There you
Whew.
go. Oh,
Thank God for Valkyrie cams. game, everybody.